Hello, everybody. One of the reasons that we call everything the devil when we don't know, that we talk about negative when we don't understand it, is because anything that opposes us or challenges, let me say it that way, that challenges the way that we think, the way we perceive something, and the way we perceive our victory, anything that challenges that, we tend to find negative. Now, opposition and obstacles generally make you stronger. When it comes to weight training, when it comes to training your body, opposition is what you need to make your muscles stronger and to tone. So you look and you add opposition to your body, um, to your workout and everything so that you can improve those muscles. And a lot of times you add more because you want a bigger result. Now, think about all of the things in your life that you desire. You want to be successful. I don't know anybody that just woke up and said, I don't want to be successful. Now, I know quite a few people who will say, I don't care about being rich. I just want to pay my bills. And like I always tell them, that means nothing because your bills is based on your desire. And I don't care who you are, that desire is always growing. So even that's not a realistic, first of all, it is not a number and it is not a goal. It's just a general statement that means nothing because you cannot have a goal without having a monetary amount and a deadline and a strategy to get there. Otherwise, you just got something you put out there. There's no job that's going to say, hey, how much are your bills? That's what we're going to pay you. No job, because guess who creates the bills? You. And in a perfect world, if you're going to create bills for yourself, you're not going to go out and get a bum car. You're going to get the best car. At least I hope you will. You're not going to get a bum house. You're going to get the best house, right? Nevertheless, there is no quick, easy, fast fix way to do anything. And we have to stop looking for that. And we have to stop calling everything negative the devil, or everything negative a hater, or every person that opposes a view a hater. Get an understanding. That's the only thing I can't stand about dealing and talking to MAGA people. They just throw stuff out there and it's never the truth. It's always lies. It's always got conjecture. It's not accurate. My point is, not all opposition is bad. Positive vibes only will not allow you to grow. You got to have the negative. There's nothing in this world that works with one thing. If your battery is dead on the car, you need the positive and the negative charge in order for it to work. If you are married, you got to have the yin to the yang. One of you is going to be better in one area and the other will be better in another. That's what makes you all a team. And when you learn to put the team together, that's where you get the good cop, bad cop. And sometimes you have to reverse depending on the situation. There's always going to be somebody stronger in one area and weaker in the other. In a relationship, no matter who it is, when it's a job, you hire somebody, if you're an entrepreneur, that is stronger in the area that you're not, so they can help build your team and build your business. Opposition, obstacles are not all bad. And you could stop and say, I'm not going to do anything, but that would not satisfy, that would not change the opposition. You could just sit in your house and do nothing, and you're still going to have obstacles to come. So do not let opposition and obstacles deter you from doing something great or doing something better or moving in your purpose. And at the same token, don't assume that obstacles and stuff means that you're doing the wrong thing. In fact, it may be strengthening you for where you want to go. You cannot be successful. You cannot get to the next level and stay on that level until you learn to overcome obstacles, to think outside the box. Sometimes obstacles are there to stretch our thought process. Generally, we bring everything down to our understanding. And there's nothing wrong with that because you got to get understanding. But then expand to think like, well, maybe. Right now, everything that is done, the first thing out of people, like, you racist. No thought process. There was a post on Facebook, and she said, anybody know a good black pediatrician? So many white people jumped on there and said, wow, wow, that's racist. No, when you look, we want what we want. But as black people, it is to our advantage to see doctors that look like us, that understand us, hopefully. Because just because they're black does not mean that they understand us, but that's our desire. Because we are discriminated medically. There's not a black person in this world under the sound of my voice that has not given it 3 or 4 thoughts before we go to the doctor, because we always feel like we are not heard. I remember when I did not have insurance and I would have to go to this clinic. Every time I went to the clinic, instead of trying to figure out why the medicine wasn't working with my diabetes, they wanted to talk about my diet. And I was like, no, I don't eat like that. And they was just like nodding their head. And finally, the lady was like, you want to go to the nutritionist? And I went smooth off on the nutritionist because she just assumed. She didn't ask me any questions. She was young, and I politely, when I say I went off, it was smooth. But I left her in there with her mouth wide open and told her to never talk to me again, ever in life. And then I said it to the doctor. She was like, oh, I understand nutritionist made you upset. She was just trying to help you. I said, you can't help me talking down to me and talking to me like I'm a kid. Even a child would have been, because she never asked. She just assumed. And like I told her, you don't know what I eat. My entire household would always say, man, Mama, you don't eat enough. And it wasn't until I got to a doctor who said, you know what, this just isn't working. And then the medicine that they were giving me had a side effect that it made me gain weight. But they never addressed that. They just never wanted to be wrong. They wanted to be right. So when this woman asked about a black doctor, it wasn't about racism. It was about being seen, and especially when it comes to your children. Bottom line, everything is not your first reaction. You've got to think, and we're in a time where we're under poor leadership that doesn't think. And to actually go the extra mile to think, it means you're going against the grain. You're going against the culture. You're going against the culture that's out here right now. Right now, everything in America, humanity is just hanging on by a thread. Nothing seems right. It's a lot of confusion. It can frustrate the heck out of you. And that's why I'm telling you that all opposition is not bad. Some of it is challenging you, because we got to have some people that make it to the next level. Everybody can't be this ignorant and just fall into the abyss. Somebody has to rise up. Somebody has to challenge. And I know that you and we can do that. Don't forget to cast your vote any and every time you have an opportunity. Vote strategically, vote responsibly, and vote knowledgeably, not based on the cliches or the clickbaits. It's been your girl, Candid with Kim. We got to think better so we can do better and be better.